Hello everybody!
Hello everyone, welcome back!
Welcome back to our 8th episode of Linkath Kopi C. Now, of course, today's topic is a little bit special and a little bit out there.
Oh, okay, so as you can see from the title, today's topic is about why improv is going to make you generally better in life.
Yes, and for those who, of course, have no idea what
improv
is,
yeah.
well, if you've seen stage acting or acting in theatre groups or stage performances, then you definitely
know what improv is.
Roughly what it is. It's usually the same style. That means there are a bunch of actors. They are acting live as a live performance in front of you, either in a stage or as part of a theatre setting. But instead of having scripts to follow and having a story for them to go along and read the lines, they don't have any of that. No scripts, no lines, nothing. All they have is each other.
Yep, that's right, guys.
Each other and maybe a general direction on where the story should go. Maybe, for example, there are 5 actors and you will give them one simple setting. Maybe the simple setting is everybody's in a picnic, but there has to be a disagreement that causes some tension to occur. And so the 5 actors will have to come up on the spot together with a story that the audience will believe.
A story that makes sense and at the same time entertains the audience.
Yes, and for a lot of us, this is a very scary thing. I mean, it's already scary enough that we want to start acting with a script, with lines all prepared for us, but it's a whole nother thing to act without them. It's basically, you only have each other to rely on. Whatever crazy ideas one actor suggests, the rest will have to go along with it because, well, without that, what else do you have?
Right, so actually, to give them disclaimers, we're both actually improv actors, but we've just recently picked it up.
Yeah, I would say aspiring improv actors. Like we are not that established yet, but like for me, I started attending improv lessons since March. So I've already been in.
Yeah, you've been in it longer than I was. Yeah.
So you can say I've already been in it for about 5 months.
Yeah.
Almost half a year. Yeah, I've already been in improv lessons for about half a year, and I'm saying I can say that it's a good way to learn how to not just do improv acting, which is what it's supposed to be, but it also really helps you with your life in general. There's a lot of things that it can translate to your real life in how you deal with certain situations, problem-solving skills and whatnot. And let Surya explain from his side what has he gained.
Yeah, well, so to give you guys a brief, I've only been doing improv for 3 months, I think. And I only got into it because Aaron dragged me into it. Because at first, when Aaron was telling me what improv was, my initial reaction was skepticism. I was like, oh dude, I'm seeing you for 8 hours already, are you expecting me to see you for more hours in the day? But anyway, I took a leap of faith and then I went for improv. And like what Aaron is telling you, I've gained a lot from what improv has to offer. So a lot of the benefits that we're about to talk to you are some based on our experiences, in real life experiences of how we've grown from improv.
Yes, definitely. So of course, like Surya and I have already mentioned, it's not just improv acting that you will gain. You don't just become actors in a sense. Of course, that is a nice thing to tell people. I'm an actor, but not the Hollywood kind of actor, but the type of actor that's improv. But it also helps you really in dealing with certain situations in your life, problem-solving skills, because a lot of what improv does is to have you act without a script. So usually a lot of times you have to think on the go. You have to improvise. As improv is, it's a short form of the word improvisation. So you have to improvise, come up with things within a split second. And it really enforces your creative decision ability. Your ability to really think creatively, come up with innovative ideas and find ways to really solve a particular problem. And usually improv actors, they have to do that all the time because they're presented with a problem and they have to solve it and to turn it into an entertaining story for the audiences to listen to and watch.
That's right. So I would build on what Aaron just said earlier. So not only are you training yourself to make decisions at the split second, you're also learning to make decisions with more conviction in yourself. Because when you're out there and when you're doing improv acting, you're basically you do not have something set that you have to follow to. So the direction that the improv acting can take is infinite, right? So it's up to you and your co-actors that are acting with you to sort of believe in the decision of one another. That okay, let's say I'm suggesting a new thing to you, something like okay, I'm having a picnic right now.
Yes.
Right. So your actors have to go with what you're proposing with you, and they are supposed to build on that, and then vice versa. So that happens.
Yeah. In improv lessons, the instructor will usually they have a term for it. It's called yes and. So for example, if Surya were to come up with a line like, "Let's go to the mall."
Oh.
And usually in most cases, for those of us who have no idea, we would maybe say certain things like, I don't want to go to the mall, it's disgusting, let's just stay right here. And usually in most cases it's fine. In real life situation, we have probably said something like that. When a friend suggests us to go somewhere, we will probably give them reasons why we don't want to. It's normal in a life situation and it's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But in improv, when you're having a performance with other actors, it's usually bad to do it, because when you do that, it says that it kills the momentum. Then you don't really develop a story from there, because the actor, when he says that let's go to the mall, is trying to create a story where the other actors, every single one of them can like go to a mall and create a story from there. But when you reject it, when you say no, let's not go there, and then you basically shot down his idea, and then he has to start thinking again of something else. And that's pretty much the opposite of improvisation. Then you have to start thinking consciously because you have rejected him already. So it's not to say that every single situation you have to say yes to it and not reject it, but for the most part, for the sake of moving the story along, usually you will say, maybe you won't verbally say yes, but in terms of consciously, you accept the situation.
Agree. You have to accept and agree.
He's presenting the situation. He's presenting the situation that we are all going to the mall, and so you subconsciously or consciously accept that situation. Yes, we are all going to the mall, but of course you can argue about it. Maybe you can respond that, I hate going to the mall, whatever, but you know what? Fine, I need to buy some shoes anyway. So you can sort of still express, like you don't like it, but you go along with it. I'm sorry if the example is very long, but that's just a rough idea what the yes
the
and
whole picture
the yes and term means. So for improv, it's about don't just reject things. Like even in real life situation, when people offer you something or whatever, it's always easy for us in this day and age to just reject them. Like when people present, those salesmen who come to us with credit card offers, usually we would just put our hand up and say no. We are so used to rejecting people because there's too much noise around. There's too many people trying to get our attention, and then we are extremely annoyed by it. We want more privacy. But in cases like, it's not, in a way it's a good thing, it helps us, but in other parts it doesn't really help, because you might be rejecting opportunities that might actually help you. For example, maybe there's a good job offer. Maybe there's a friend saying, let's meet this guy, he might offer you something. And then if you keep on being negative and you say no to it, then you've lost an opportunity. If you decide to take a leap of faith and say, why not? You might get that job.
You might just,
so
a world opens up to you.
So improv in general is like getting us to be more accepting of situations. Not to blindly accept things and not just to say yes to anything, but to just be more willing to, take a leap of faith. Don't be
more open.
To basically get out of your comfort zone. Not to stay within your comfort zone too much. To be able to get out of it once in a while and to really see the world out there. See the unknown aspects of life. And then it might grow you, it might present you with things that will help you. So that's one part of improv that is really important. It doesn't just teach you to be a better actor, but to be a better person and to really give you a better life, I think.
So that actually, the points that Aaron actually said actually leads to my next point. Improv helps you to loosen yourself up, and it helps you refocus your perspective. to start taking things very lightly, because when you're when you're doing improv acting, there are times where the acting is not going to work out, or you're going to suck at it, or sometimes the scene doesn't happen, but it's fine though, because you've tried with what you have to create something out of nothing, and with more and more attempts of doing so, you will definitely get better at that. So improv teaches you to laugh at yourself and to be a little more resilient as to how you go about facing difficulty when you're acting, and also difficulty in your daily challenges.
Definitely, because as you know, life likes to throw a lot of curveballs at us.
Yeah.
And like for me, okay, in the past, even to this day, there's a side of me that really wants to control a lot of aspects of my life.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, especially like maybe during my teenage years and even a few years back, I really like to control a lot of things in my life. I don't want a lot of unpredictability. I don't like uncertain situations. I don't like nasty surprises or even surprises in general. I want things to be very predictable.
Right.
I like to know that when I wake up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Everything is planned ahead of time.
Right.
And then when I go back, okay, I'm going to eat dinner this time, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then I go to sleep as scheduled. Everything is routine, everything is planned, there is no uncertainty, everything is smooth. That was the old me. Well, in a way, you can say that there's no stress involved, but actually it is, because the fact that you have to plan all of this,
everything
and
out,
you have to make sure that it doesn't, divert to something else, it's very stressful. And it really gets you to start overthinking things. And so usually when there are days when before I go to sleep, I will start thinking about things too much. My mind will become my own worst enemy, and then these thoughts will start like turning into negative self-doubt, negative talk, blah blah blah. It can be positive sometimes, but usually it's negative. So in a way, when I started to go to improv lessons, I found that I'm doing these things a lot less.
Wow.
I find myself, like I don't really actively plan my day out that much anymore. I'll still plan. I have a generic idea what I'm going to do with my day, but other than that, I would just let things happen. If other things come along, and then if I think it's good, then maybe I would just put my plans on hold or change it to another day, and then just go along with it. Yeah, I used to not do that. I used to be very conscious about what I want to do. I don't like, like I say, I don't like uncertainty. But now I think I'm becoming more comfortable with that thought and that kind of life. In the past, I would probably have nerves shaking me.
Freak out.
I'll probably freak out a bit, yes. In case you all don't know, I used to be a very introverted and very shy person. More soft-spoken. So usually, I don't really like to talk a lot. Don't like to put myself out there. But in the last few years, in the more recent times, I found myself, being able to get out of that shell more. And then, to this day, you're hearing my voice in this podcast.
So that's good.
Yeah, in the several last years ago, I guess you wouldn't really hear this. I wouldn't even want to go to the podcast because I'll be thinking, I won't sound good. I won't sound, you all won't like me. Will you all like me, please?
Right. So
Things
you
like
don't think about things of
I say that's a good thing, because I find myself becoming less stressed.
Right.
And I find myself more relaxed. Take things at its stride. Take things by the chin. When people punch you, you take it by the chin and then you punch them back.
Wow.
Rather than when they punch you and then you start trying to duck and dodge and avoid and run away and something like that. So I say it helps a lot. It prepares you better to deal with life's uncertainties.
Right.
It won't help you in every single way, but it prepares you better. So in a way, because you're very spontaneous, you can improvise a lot. So I try to apply that in my real life scenario. And it really helps. Yeah, even though it's supposed to be for acting, but in a way, I use that type of technique to help me with my life, and it helps.
Right. So the same, guys, I can equally testify, just like how Aaron did, that how improv has been and is continually changing my perspective and my mind to be better, stronger, faster than ever. Right. Okay. So to conclude, we're gonna talk about how okay. So for new people that are just hearing the word improv, what should they do? What do you think they should do to sort of get introduction into how it is, and how do they get past the initial fear of doing it for the first time?
Well, usually the question, even for me, when I first started improv, I had no idea what it is. I had to do some research. So I go through Wikipedia, then I find out that it's almost like stage acting. It's like theatre performance, but without a script, without anything. Everything is on the spot, improvised.
Okay.
You won't get the same performance day in, day out. Every single day is a different performance.
Right.
And probably for most of the listeners out here, if you are familiar with American TV, you've probably heard of a show called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay.
If you've heard of that show called Whose Line Is It Anyway, or even Saturday Night Live, then you probably know what improv is. Because a lot of the skits, the comedy skits that are being done on those two shows
Our improv acting.
Improv acting. They don't have a script. Some of them, when you watch them, you think that there's a script, everything's pre-planned, they're doing things as it is. But no, trust me, it's not. If you go behind the scenes, they probably only have a single setting, a single sentence. You're in a classroom. There has to be some argument. That's it. And then when you go in there, you have to make it up as you go. And you only have those other fellow actors to bounce ideas with each other.
Right. And well, as for me, I think I can answer. I'm qualified enough to answer. How do you get past the initial fear of going to your first ever improv acting? Because you could do all the research you want, and you could watch all the American TVs that you want, and you could learn enough to know about what improv acting is. But ultimately, it all comes to you. You have to be brave enough to make the decision that you wanna go out, and then you wanna really try. You wanna go out there and you really wanna try it out. Because if you approach it half-heartedly, then you will not be reaping the full benefits that it can give you.
Yeah, and of course there is no such thing as perfection in improv.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as being perfect. It's okay to make mistakes, and they even welcome mistakes. When you make a mistake or you screw things up or whatever, they don't see it as a bad thing. They see it as a good thing, because it's part and parcel of being a person and dealing with life. We will not always be able to handle and react to challenges in our life perfectly.
That's true.
We won't do it in the most precise manner, the most controlled, the most elegant way. We might make a lot of mistakes along the way. It's the same thing with improv acting. Even when I first went there, there were mistakes all over. Even to this day, I still make a lot of mistakes, but it's fine.
Likewise, guys.
I've learned somehow. It's very weird. When I first came into improv and I made all these mistakes, I was so self-conscious about it. I was thinking, oh, why did you screw this up? Why did you did this thing? Oh, it's so bad. It's much like me in the past when I had a lot of challenges in my life. I was always thinking, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Oh, it's so bad. When I have problems with people, when I have arguments or whatever, it's the same thing. But after being in an improv environment for a while,
it changes
you. Yeah, when mistakes happen, then you sort of like brush it off. It's like, okay, let's just move on. Okay, that's happened already. Let's just try to improvise a new thing, sort of like solve the mistake or something. So in a way, it sort of bleeds into my life right now. It's like when certain problems occur or certain setbacks occur, then I don't really panic that much anymore. I'm quite calm. In my mind, I can be thinking, oh, okay, it's happened. So what should I do right now? Okay, what should I do? Okay, I will blah blah blah, this and that. Like, even you can say, like 2 days ago in the evening, when I had a small little accident with someone in a car, and usually I would panic, but now I just stay calm.
Wow.
I went out, I was like, okay, let's just go out.
You were calm the whole time.
And immediately I apologized because I knew it was my mistake. So I said, I'm sorry, sir. It's like, are you alright? Is your car, everything okay? Blah blah blah. Then I guess he was about to like get angry, but once he saw that I immediately apologized, he was like, oh, why did you do that? This and that. It was a bit,
wow, so he softened. Okay.
Softened a bit. Yeah, it was like saying, oh, it's
okay.
But after a while, there's like, you know what? It's fine. It's a small matter. It's like, don't do this again. Okay, it's luckily, say we are lucky that it's just a minor thing. Then I was like, okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. And then we went on with our lives. So in the past, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would just panicked, or I would just sort of freaked out in a way that's like, okay, what should I do? What should I do? But now it's like, you know what? Okay, let's just go. I'll just go out there. I'll just apologize, blah blah blah, and then move on. So yeah, I know the example may not be improv or whatever, but it helps my life.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's very helpful.
Yep. So that's basically a general walkthrough as to how improv has been life-changing for both of us. And with that, we'll conclude our episode for today.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much to all our listeners, and thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast, and we hope that you enjoyed this very, very special topic. And because
it's close to our hearts.
Yeah,
guys.
and because it's so special, we decided, that we don't need a sponsor for this, because improv itself is very much a sponsor on its own.
That's right, guys. So there are no sponsors here for today, but here's the thing though. We would really want your favor. Do let us know if you like our content, leave us a like or a comment, and subscribe to us if you want to get more, if you want to get updates as to when we publish our content. And not only that, if you've got ideas as to what topics we can talk about in the future, do let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, if let's say you like something like a topic like this, improv, or something that's a bit more fun and whatnot, let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, of course, have a great day everybody, or have a great evening. And this has been Aaron and Surya. Take care.
Signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye.